About 80% of Ugandans get their livelihood from agriculture, but over the years, the sector has suffered low budgetary allocations. It is probably for this reason that parts of Uganda suffer food insecurity, hence starvation. This is one of the things that worries Zachary Olum, a seasoned agriculturist, former state minister for agriculture, and former MP for Nyoya County.
The colonial government, first of all, security was their mainstay. They had the army and the police. But after that, health. And the third was agriculture. So they took agriculture as a very, very important aspect of sustaining life and having a healthy population that can work and produce the crops that they wanted, like cotton, coffee, tea, and so on. So agriculture was elevated to that level.
Before going into politics as MP and later State Minister for Housing, Olum taught at Bukarasa Agricultural College. He was later appointed a teaching assistant at Makerere University's Department of Agricultural Engineering, where he had a 2-year stint from 1970 to 1972. Olum is concerned that the districts that were previously Uganda's food basket now have people starving.
It pains me when I see on TV sometimes people in Teso dying of hunger. And yet Teso used to be one of the areas that produces a lot of crops, millet, groundnuts, cotton for Uganda. If I remember correctly, in 1967, Uganda produced over 500,000 bales of cotton, 500,000 bales of cotton in 1967. Today, if we talk of 100,000 bales of cotton, we have done very well. Why? Because we are not enabling the farmers.
The former minister says the ruling NRM government should emulate previous governments that paid a lot of attention to the agriculture sector.
Our parents didn't have a job, but they paid our school fees out of cotton, coffee, and tea, and tobacco. So that brings me to the point of really elevating agriculture by the colonial government to a very high level. But we don't seem to take that seriously especially now. Because I know, bottom one, agriculture was also given the status it deserved. Even Amin, of all the people, took agriculture very seriously, to the point that I think he imported over 3,000 tractors to Uganda to enable farmers to produce. Various schemes were tried out in Uganda, and one of them was the group farming scheme. That was to enable farmers to get into cooperatives and produce more.
As an MP, Olum also chaired the Parliamentary Committee on Agriculture. He urges government to restore agricultural extension services, especially in rural areas.
In every sub-county, there was an extension worker of the level of a certificate in agriculture. Even when I was in Parliament, I think I was the chairman of the Committee on Agriculture when the World Bank was pushing for this privatization of extension services. They created NADS, they created modernization of agriculture and all these other things. That can work in a developed country like America or Denmark. But here we had a thriving extension service. And I remember raising this issue in Parliament in my committee, which I had chaired for 5 years as the chairman of the Committee on Agriculture. And I said, we were going to kill the goose that lays the golden egg, the extension services.
He recalls that in years gone by, the population derived livelihood from agriculture because government firmly supported farmers. The 73-year-old Olum, who is a practicing farmer, says there is no clear policy on agriculture.
And this operation, wealth creation, was removed from NADS and put in soldiers. Even if you give me a 6 months training as a soldier, I'll never know what agriculture is. Agriculture is a very serious subject. To not just knowing how to distribute seeds, to distribute what. I think government needs to come to grip with a serious program, serious policy on agriculture. Have a second look at it. And there are people in this country who have the know-how.
He urges that food security will be restored in the country by training the youth in agriculture and also passing laws to ensure that farmers store food to ensure food security.
Instead of taking these kids for training in military drills, we should take them for training in agriculture. Train them from early childhood so that they value agriculture and they become part of the production force. And to look at agriculture not as a job for failures.
The former opposition Democratic Party vice president also wants government to reopen the cooperative bank.
Then UCB used to have what we call rural farmer scheme, farmer scheme, where you could get money to help you with, but all that is gone now. Yeah. Most of these banks don't care about agriculture.
He also asks government to set up infrastructure to support farmers in the remote areas on the country.
We need to go into really farm roads, what we call farm roads. Those are very, very small roads which are required. They should be all weather, where the farmers can go into their field, produce, and be able to bring it to the trading centers.
Now retired, the seasoned politician is practicing farming. Agness Nandutu, NTV Living History.